All right, let's take a look at the next problem here. So they give you a matrix here, A, and they're asking you for the rank and the dimension of the null space of A. So this question is a bit different to the ones we've been doing. First thing we want to do here is we want to row reduce this matrix and find out the number of linearly independent vectors that is in here. So let's go ahead and do that first. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to make these entries 0. I'm going to take row 2 minus row 1. I'm going to take row 4 minus row 1. And row reduce this. So 1, 2, 0, 1, minus 1, 3. And subtracting this up here. Again, to do that, I have to take row 2 minus twice row 1. So this will be 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, and 1. Row 3 we are not touching, and then row 4 here we're just straight up subtracting. So this will be 0, 1, oops, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1. And then I want to go ahead and right away we can see the fourth row is identical to the third row. So I'm going to just eliminate this fourth row by subtracting row 4 minus row 3. So this becomes 1, 2, 0, 1, minus 1, 3. And these are all zeros all the way down. And now I'm going to go ahead and interchange row 2. I'm going to interchange that with row 3. All right, I want to go ahead and make this entry here 0. So I'm going to go ahead and take row 1 minus twice row 2, in which case this is unchanged. This will be 0. This will be minus 2. This will be minus 1. This will be minus 5. And the last entry here will be a 1. And then, like we discussed, not touching this row or the next one, and we have zeros going all the way down. All right, so I've got these two 0 here. Continuing on here, I want to make these entries 0. So I'm going to take row 1 plus twice row 3. I'm going to take row 2 minus row 3. And subtracting these up here, I'm going to get 1, 0, 0. And that's going to be 1, minus 1, 3. 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So finishing that up here, we end up having the first 3 rows are independent, you can see, and you can see this vector is a combination of the first and third, as is a combination of the first and third, and this one as well. So going from here, we can see the first 3 vectors are linearly independent. So in this case here, the rank of matrix A is the number of pivot columns that we have here. So the rank of this is going to be 3. So this has a rank of 3. If you take a look at the rank nullity theorem, we have that the rank of A plus I know the dimension of the null space of A has to equal, in this case here, this comes out of, this is coming out of, the matrix transformation of this is out of R6. So this is going to has to equal 6. So therefore I know that the rank, which is 3, plus the dimension of the null space of A has to equal 6. So solving this equation here, we can quickly see that the dimension of the null space of A is also equal to 3 in this case here. All right, so this is an example here. You just have to find the rank of the matrix by row reducing it, count the number of pivot columns. In this case, there's 3. So the rank of the matrix is 3. You know that the dimension of the null space plus its rank has to add up to be 6 in this case here. So therefore, the dimension of the null space is also 3. All right, let's take a look at another problem. All right, so in this problem here, this set is coming out of P4. This is a set of polynomials degree less than or equal to 4. We have a set W coming out of there. has these added conditions. The polynomial at 0 is 0, the polynomial at 1 is 0, and the derivative of the polynomial at 0 is 0. And they want you to find a basis for this. So first of all, any polynomial that comes out of any polynomial that's coming out of P4 has to look as the following: a plus bx plus cx squared plus dx cubed plus ex to the 4. So right away, I know that p at 0 is 0. That's going to imply that a is 0 right away. So right away, I know my one coefficient of a is 0. I know that, what does p prime at x look like? P prime at x in this case is going to be b plus 2cx plus 3dx squared plus 4ex cubed. And I know that the polynomial evaluated in this case at 0 is equal to 0. Well, that's going to imply, right, we have this condition here, that's going to imply that b is 0. So now I know that a is 0 and b is 0. So if I take a look at my polynomial now, I have a polynomial p at x. I know a and b are 0, so it's going to be cx squared plus dx cubed plus ex to the 4th. I also know p at 1 is 0. So if p at 1 is 0, I know that c plus d plus e is also 0 as well. So therefore, I also know that I could write c as being negative d minus e. So putting this all together, my polynomial p at x, again, it's c times x squared. I can get rid of that c and write that as negative d minus e x squared plus d times x cubed plus e times x to the 4. If I want to rearrange this in terms of coefficients, this will be negative dx squared minus ex squared plus dx cubed plus ex to the 4th, in which case p at x is going to equal here. I could factor out the d. I'm going to get x cubed minus x squared plus e times x to the 4th minus x squared. And therefore, we can see here that if I were to span on the vector x cubed minus x squared, if I span this polynomial and this polynomial, take every possible linear combination of these two polynomials, and I span on that, that will create this exact set that we started off with here. This will create the set W exactly as is. So by spanning on these two vectors here, these two polynomials, it's going to create the set W. You can see these two polynomials are linearly independent. You can't write one as the other or vice versa. So therefore, I know that a basis for this set is the following 2, and therefore the dimension of W is going to be 2 here. All right, that concludes today's lesson, going through examples on dimension with linear algebra. Thank you.